Live and direct. It's Sway in the morning.
Right here on Shade 45.
All right, Sway in the morning, Shade 45. 37 minutes into the hour. You don't have to be. I like to have really interesting guests on this show.
Absolutely.
Especially ones that I think can make an impact on the citizens' lives.
That's it.
We're not just talking about music and pop culture here. Mm-hmm. We're doing scandalous things. You know, you're right.
Too much.
You know, it's information here that affects our lives and can help us live a better quality life. And I wanted to invite Adam Levin here. And he's here with us right now, ladies and gentlemen. He a former director of the New Jersey Division of Consumer Affairs, also the chairman and founder of Identity Theft 911. And that title in itself attracted me. Adam, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Why not, man? Why not, man? You got valuable information for us. Real quick, what is Identity Theft 911 all about?
Well, we work with 500 major institutions in insurance, banking, credit unions, and with employee assistance programs. And what we do is we do identity theft education, identity theft resolution. We help people manage their identities. Then we're also involved when companies get breached. Show them how to prepare for it. If they have it, help them through it. And we even have a group that actually does the forensic work to find out how it happened and ultimately who did it.
Who did it?
Yeah.
So you can actually find the criminals.
We can.
It seems like it's so much easier nowadays with modern technology, the internet, to really swipe someone's identity. Is this true?
Oh, no, it's very true. I mean, the sad fact is that breaches and identity theft that resulted from breaches is now become the third certainty in life behind death and taxes. There's just too much information out there.
Behind death and taxes?
Wow.
Yeah. There's so much information out there about people. People overshare online. People give information to people they don't know.
Yeah.
Anytime they walk into, let's say, a doctor's office, the new patient form, it asks them to give their entire life history and medical history, which they do, ask for their Social Security number. The problem is a lot of these professional offices may not have the best security.
Yeah.
And now we're going to digitize medical records as part of the Affordable Care Act and the HITECH Act and the stimulus package. And we're not exactly sure that when those records are digitized, that security is really the prime directive. So there are so many points of vulnerability. Look at the Target breach.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, people got nervous about identity theft. We've been talking about it for a decade. Finally, when an icon gets hit that services basically $74 billion worth of business a year, people finally start to get the message.
You know, I was a victim of identity theft.
Really?
Yeah, and this was years ago. This was actually in the 90s. And a friend of mine who was a stockbroker referred me to a financial consultant, and they acquired my information. I had no idea. Maybe a couple years later, when I went to purchase a piece of property, turned out that these people used my Social Security number, and I had 3 properties on my, in my records, on my files that I never even saw.
Wow.
And they were, payments were delinquent. And it was all sorts of things coming my way, and I had to file a police report. I didn't understand back then how that happened. What I wanted to do is change my Social Security number, but you're not allowed to do that.
It's almost impossible for somebody to get their Social Security number changed. And that's why this is such a big problem, because when someone gets hold of your Social Security number, they have an option on your life. And the question isn't if they're going to use it, but when. And even if they get arrested, they probably have sold it and it's been resold to other people. So it's out there now and people can use it, and you're always going to be looking over your shoulder. And there are things you can do. But the problem is that none of them are foolproof.
None of it. And it's such a hassle to clean this shit up, right?
It takes a really long time. And if you're not working with a professional organization, it could be life-changing and life-destroying. And when we talk about identity theft, we're not just talking about financial crimes, because a lot of people think credit cards. That's the easiest. You make a phone call, change the credit card number, game over. However, once you start to move up the food chain in identity theft, which debit cards, which gets them into your bank account, and then when they start opening accounts like you had in your name, And then it can progress to medical identity theft when people are using your information to get medical treatment or services or use your medical insurance, which could create problems. And then criminal identity theft, where they start committing crimes in your name, and you're just driving along, you get pulled over for a busted taillight. Next thing you know, you're in jail. You didn't do it.
You robbed a bank. I was just sharing this story where people get upset with me because I won't give them all my information. I'm not giving you my social security number. I had someone take it. It's still, then bought property with it. And then I got left with the bill and having to explain it, file a police report.
Goodness.
Credit card fraud and all of these different things. And Adam, you telling us that it's just really easy to do.
No, it's rampant. And they come at you from all different ways. They'll come at you through email. They'll send emails that will look like it's coming from a bank or from the Internal Revenue Service or from someone you know. It'll have an attachment. You'll click on the attachment. It'll put a virus in your computer. It'll take over your email. I mean, some of the most secure companies in the world have been breached because a lower-level employee got an email that looked like it was official, clicked on the attachment, virus went in the computer, took over their email, and started burrowing deep into the company. And some of them got a lot of serious company secrets, and companies had to replace millions of security devices. And it's an unbelievable. And children, the most precious thing to an identity thief is the social security number of a child, because that's clean, it's pristine, it's unused. So what they do is they then take a different name and address, they attach to the social security number, they file for a credit, they look for a credit card or something else. They get it, and then they start building on it. And with a child, since kids don't check credit reports and most parents don't think about it, this thief could have a 15-year run. And then the child becomes 18, 19, and now they're out looking for credit, and their credit's been destroyed.
It's been destroyed and hard to fix. Sean is in Los Angeles. Sean, what's your question?
Well, I grew up in the inner city, and a lot of people in inner cities, they got their parents that would create accounts or things in their name, and I'm one of those kids, and now I'm trying to clear up a lot of things that my mom passed away, but there's a lot of things that she put in my name when I was younger that I didn't even have to say so. So now I'm trying to see how can I go about clearing that up.
Well, one of the things you have to do is first you have to you have to get a police report. Unfortunately, and the reason why a lot of identity theft is never reported in families is because a lot of kids don't want to rat out their parents or their brother or sister, but you got to get a police report. You got to get that police report to the credit reporting agencies. You have to put a fraud alert on your file, and you have to be able to prove account by account that it wasn't really possible for you to have done it because you were a child and you wouldn't have been able to do it. Because truthfully, below the age of 18, most people aren't even granted credit unless they're added as an additional card holder to a parent's credit card. But we've had so many instances. We had a case recently, a woman who's now a professor at Eastern Illinois University. When she was 11, her mother started committing identity theft against her and her father and her grandfather.
Damn.
And they only found out, they knew they were victims. They had no idea who, and only after the mother passed away did they find out it was their mother.
Wow.
She's a dirty girl. She was a dirty girl.
Adam, are you a fan? I feel like my bank is constantly trying to get me to bank online. They ask me every single time, every single transaction. They said it would make my life easier and faster. Take a picture of a check. It'll go right in. I'm not a fan of it. I feel like I'm just exposing myself and putting my information out there. What's your take on banking online?
I happen to think that online banking is not a bad idea. I mean, if it's a serious bank, if it's a major bank, they have a very secure site. And here's where it becomes really helpful, and that is every day, just take a couple minutes out of your day. And people go, I don't have that kind of time. The answer, of course you do. You look at your email, you do social networking, take a couple minutes, look at your bank accounts, look at your credit card accounts, make absolutely sure that everything you see in those accounts is really you. Because sometimes the earliest warning you'll get that you're having a problem with your identity and someone is crawling around in your accounts is by seeing transactions that don't look right. And either they'll make a big purchase or they'll do a series of little purchases and hope you'll miss it, and they just simply generate money by that.
Wow. We have Randy on the line from Chicago. Good morning, Randy. How you doing?
Randy.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Doing okay. Say hello to Adam.
Hello, Adam. How are you?
Good. How are you, sir?
I'm all right. I had a question for you. Plus, I was in an experience. I own my own business here in Chicago, and I had a situation where someone actually hacked into my business checking account and started writing checks across the country under my business name. Now, I was fortunate that the person that received one of the checks called me to see if this person worked for me or if I actually wrote a check to this company, and it was like for $3,500. So I was like, no. So I called my bank. I called my bank, and they noticed that there was a PayPal deposit of like 9 or 8 cents, which is an indicator that they're testing my account, trying to see if it's active. So I end up closing the account out. But my thing is, I never, ever put my routing or account information, checking account information online. Mm-hmm. How is that possible for them to tap into my business checking account?
Well, sometimes it's an inside job. They know someone at a bank, or they're aware of someone or have a relationship with someone that you have written a check to in the past. Or they've maybe stolen a check that you wrote to someone in the past, and there they have the address and the name of the business. They have the account number. They have the routing number. I mean, these are very, very clever people, and they're out there all the time. Remember, we all have day jobs, but to identity thieves, we are their day job.
Yeah. We're the victims. They feast on us.
I'm curious, what's like the percentage of people who fake identity theft, who act like, all right, someone else opened up a credit card under my name, blah, 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 but lo and behold, it's actually them just trying to get extra money?
No, there is some percentage of people that will play that game, and that's why the biggest problem you have in this country when you're a victim of identity theft is that you're guilty until you're proven innocent. Because the credit reporting agencies look at you strangely until you get a police report and you can verify information and provide documentation. You're going to have a problem with proving that you're a victim, because there are people who will do that.
So it's an extra lengthy process.
It is. It's an extra lengthy process.
It's horrible, man. To this day, man, I'm just cautious.
But if I could just make a suggestion here, and that is, a lot of people that, we divide it into 3 phases. One is you limit your risk of exposure, but unfortunately too many of us are on the wrong database that gets hacked. Yeah. The second thing is you monitor. You go to like annualcreditreport.com, which is a government mandated site where you can get a free copy of each of your credit reports once a year. You can come to sitesitecredit.com where you can actually see a free top-line version of your credit. You're graded on how you're doing on the things that make up your credit score. You get free scores every 30 days that are updated. If your score suddenly takes a drop, that could be a sign that you're a victim. You can sign up for programs free with banks, credit card companies, and credit unions that will notify you every time a transaction takes place just to make sure it's yours. You can get more sophisticated monitoring if you want. But the key thing is you have to have a damage control program. And a lot of people don't realize you have access to those, and they even may be free. It may be through your insurance
company. What is a damage
company.
Control program?
Damage control is when someone actually helps you through the process of resolving your identity theft issues, because a lot of these issues are pretty complex, and you need help. And there are a lot of institutions, whether they're insurance companies, banks, credit unions, or even where you work, there are employee assistance programs that may offer you a program like this for free as a perk of your relationship with the institution, or they may charge you a small amount as part of whatever your voluntary fees may be for your assistance program, or it may cost more. Make the call, find out if they have it, find out if you're in it, find out what it costs, and then make a decision if it's worth it.
You know what, Adam, I want to give out your Twitter address. I know you wouldn't mind if any of these citizens were to hit you up on Twitter and ask you a question for consultation, or at least you could direct them in the right area. His Twitter address is Adam_K_Levin, Levin. That's Adam_K_Levin. Hit him up directly. Thank you for coming on the show, bro.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
You're listening to Sway in the morning on Shade 45.